Hello everyone and welcome to Thursday Live Lessons. My name is Aldrine Guerrero, joined by Mr. Aaron, the voice Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And by Mr. Kahai, the legend Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
We are here. The three musketeers are here to answer any and all of your questions. How this works is you guys ask us questions and we'll try to answer them as best as we can. I'll answer them as best as I can, and these two guys will come in with their 2 cents and we try to come up with a super answer just for you. Anything ukulele related, Kahai private life related, what doesn't matter. You can ask us anything, right, Kahai?
You can ask, but
yeah,
that's a good answer.
Right? Like what's Kahai's favorite color? You know, like how's he doing today? You know, like
Those are pretty good.
What did he write on his FAFSA when he tried to go for some student loans and stuff? Like,
No, that's not even wrong because that's too personal. It's wrong because I've never gone to college, so I don't have student loans. Joke's on you.
School of hard knocks with this guy.
It's always funny when I get like that spam mail where it's like, oh, you gotta make your payments on student loans or you gotta make your car payments. I'm like, joke's on you guys. Nice
Stupid
try.
spam.
yeah.
Nice try.
Neither of those things.
Spam mails are getting dumber. Right on, guys. So we get emails, we get questions, we get all kinds of stuff, telephone calls and stuff, and we get all these questions and we try to answer them as best as I can, and we can. So let's just try to answer our very first question right now. Kahai, go ahead and lay some on me.
We didn't really have questions this week,
Okay.
but we had that student review.
Yes.
Yeah, so I sent it to you, and it's from Artistgirl. Her name on the site is Artistgirl, and she tried to post it to the forum, but she was having trouble, so she sent it directly to me.
Okay, so as far as student review goes, like she's doing a pretty good job. I've had a few private lessons with her already. She signed up for a few of those. And she's doing pretty good. She's a beginner. She's just kind of starting out and stuff, but she's doing pretty well. Some of the things that I did notice in your student review, especially the first thing that you showed me, which is the roll. Your rolling down looks pretty good. You might want to open up your hand a little bit more because a lot of people, and I don't know if I was clear enough when I said this, but when you do the roll, right, like this works. But then if you open up the fingers when you as you go down, so you kind of like have it tucked in like this, then when you go down and as you open it up, it actually drags the fingers a little bit more. So you want to open up those fingers instead of just kind of keeping it close like this. So you want to open it up to get a bigger drag on the down strum. Also, your up strum after the roll is a little bit different. So I mean, you're kind of going down like this, like the roll, and you're going up with the pinky finger there, which is not the idea. So the idea here is when you do the roll, you do the same up strum with your pointer finger. So these 3 fingers are just acting as supporting roll, really. Like, you see what I did there? Supporting roll. So yeah, we're getting punny. So you roll down like so, and you use your pointer finger to strum up. You don't want to follow up with this, because if you're doing this and you're doing this move right here, you never do this move any other time unless you're doing one of those fancy like 10 finger rolls and stuff, which is not the case. So when you do this, the follow up is not with your pinky finger, it's with your pointer finger. It's basically like just down strum with the pointer finger and up strum with the pointer finger. And all we're doing is we're adding the supporting cast. Here it is slow. But it's this motion right here. So I'm going to turn like this. So it's down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, roll, up, down, up. So it's the same exact movement from my wrist that that I'm doing. I'm not doing anything different, because once you do this right here, watch my wrist. Watch what happens. I have this nice kind of like straight wrist that's just kind of twisting. And then when I do this, there's that very unnatural bend. Okay. So make sure when you follow this up with an up strum, it's just like your regular up. So practice this, and then add the supporting cast. Okay. Your finger picking looks pretty good. What we can do a little bit better is to make sure that you're, I saw that you're trying to anchor, saw that you're anchoring and stuff, you're anchoring with your ring finger and stuff, which is a little bit difficult. pinky finger, like anchor with there, because the ring finger and the middle finger are pretty close together. So if you're using the ring finger to anchor, it's gonna be a little bit unstable. Because watch when you do the finger picking here. My ring finger wants to follow my middle finger. So if you're locking that in, it's tough for your middle finger to move. I can't even like move it straight enough to get a good angle on the strings. It has to stay at this angle. But with my pinky finger, I'm getting the right angle that I should be getting. And that's, and this naturally moves. The ring finger naturally moves because it wants to follow that. It's pretty close. These two are pretty close together, okay? So make sure you have this pinky finger there. If your ring finger moves, it doesn't matter. And that's why a lot of people think that I use 4 fingers to do my finger picking. It's because my ring finger moves along with my middle finger. So I'm actually just using these 3. So thumb, pointer, and middle finger. So when I do... but the ring finger kind of moves along. Also, there is that one, when you're trying to do this, the chords and stuff, when you're trying to strum Happy Birthday, the forearm is moving a little bit too much, for my liking. I'm not saying that it has to be completely frozen and stuff, but you can move it a little bit, but make sure that it's not going any more than that. See, like my forearm is moving, but not by much. So it's not a strum like this. It's a strum like this. Okay, and because if you do this, it's gonna be hard to do, the stuff that you want to do, like rolls and stuff, right? Because although you can roll, it just sounds, like it sounds rushed. It doesn't sound like a nice clean roll. But this will give you a clean roll because you're in the right form. When you have the right form, everything kind of follows along. So make sure your form is okay. But everything else that you're doing looks pretty good. You're doing a great job, regardless of you only been playing for so long. So just keep up the good job and keep up with just kind of letting us know how you're doing. So student reviews are basically just that, is letting us know how you're doing. So if you want us to check up on your progress, it's not necessarily like I'm having a hard time with this, or or I can't do that. It's more like, hey, what do you guys think? Like you can always just send us stuff, and this goes for everyone. Okay, if you just want us to kind of just take a peek at what you're doing, because you might not know that you're doing something that that like this kind of up with the roll and stuff. Like maybe she didn't know that that wasn't how you're supposed to do the follow up strum. Yeah. And yeah, just send us stuff. You just never know, And I mean, best case scenario, it's like, yeah, you're doing really good. Just keep up the good work, So yeah. And next question. No questions. How about from the audience? We are live. This is Thursday live lesson. So if you guys want to ask us stuff, the chat is there, and we are live. You guys can ask us questions. Ask us whatever you want. Like I said, especially about Kahai's private life.
I was gonna say.
What grade are your glasses? No. Do you have glasses?
Yeah. I was gonna say. I like to, when I notice people are having trouble like extending their fingers during a roll, or like they send us stuff and they ask that question. Yeah. I like to send them to that, like I think it's a live lesson, or like 101 or 102, where you explain it, but then you do the exercise where you put all your fingers down here, and then you push like that. And you say like, oh, you do that when you drive, sitting, right? Yeah, when I'm driving and the wheel and it's kind of doing this and stuff. And then like I'm sitting down, I'm watching TV, if my hands are not occupied by snacks, like I do this. So my couch has like Cheeto stains on it. I like to tell people that too, because I started doing that after like we talked about it live. I started doing that like just like when I'm not doing anything or just sitting down. And I think my rolls have gotten like better from just doing that practice. And Kira, I know, like, has also said she does that while she's driving. Oh, cool. And I don't know if she really rolls, but she says, like, she likes doing that, too. So it's like a super easy thing to do just when you just have like a flat surface or anything.
Yeah,
to
I
just,
mean,
like,
or anything. I could be like on my steering wheel. Sometimes I'll strum on my steering wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of doing this.
Yeah. And that's good practice. Like
Mhm,
just doing it whenever you think you can.
Sorry, can I kind of plug this in? I forgot to plug in.
Yeah. Wait. Give
So
me 1 sec.
unprofessional.
Let me. Yeah. Okay. That's muted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where sometimes you don't even notice that you're doing it.
yeah.
Until somebody gets irritated, like, stop doing that.
I do this thing
Sorry.
where like I crack the, like my hitchhiker's thumb and stuff. Like I crack it like that.
Oh.
And like, and, I mean, I crack my knuckles in general. Like I do it all the time.
Yeah,
And I'm very aware that I do it and stuff. We were in the UK and we were in a car with Billy Joe Best, with Billy and his mom. And Billy, I had a private lesson with him, and Billy's like, "Oh, my mom said when you guys were sitting in the back and stuff, you were kind of like, it's like doing this with your thumb. Like, what was that thing with your thumb that you were doing in the back?" I'm like, "I don't know. Do I do?" And he's like, he's like, no. It's like, she said that you were like kind of picking in the air, kind of doing this thing. I'm like, was it this? And he's like, yeah, that's exactly it. I was like, oh, that's just me trying to crack that knuckle. You hear it, right? Yeah. So it's, I mean, we do things and we don't even know like that we're doing them. But that's kind of like how I have that thumb so fast. It's about showing my wife that, like, what is that? What was it? What song? Shut the lights. What song is that? I'll Be Your Baby Tonight.
Yeah.
So it goes, and I was telling her that, like, I usually do this, but actually don't need to do that. I can just hit it with this. So I can do a regular tremolo without like having to bend to anchor and stuff. And she's like, "That's not normal." But it's because of that. Like, and don't do it. Don't try it at home and stuff. But like, I've cracked that nail and just, like, had that resistance, like, and I've just been doing it forever. And I know it looks weird to some people, but don't judge me, please. It's for my job, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Kahai is another one that he cracks his knuckles.
I do it a lot, and here too. Like sometimes you guys will catch me like kind of just like low key going like this, like trying to crack my knuckles. Yeah. Does he? I never noticed.
Yeah, I mean, one of those things too where he probably doesn't notice that he does it either.
Yeah, I crack my knuckles a lot, like nervously, kind of like anxious, kind of like crack knuckles. I don't know if it's an anxiety thing, but yeah, I do it. Do you have any other questions?
We do. Something else like I wanted to say about like the Artistgirl student review is she uses her thumb for like a lot of the strumming. And like I know some people say like, oh, I didn't want to learn how to do the pointer finger strum because that's the style that I want to do is like a thumb strum. Yeah. But I think like you should learn how to strum with your pointer finger because I think it makes your thumb strum even better.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of use the same motion regardless of whether you're doing your thumb or your pointer finger, and it just makes it sound better if you kind of learn it to do the twisting motion.
Yeah, I know why she does that because she's watching Songs Made Easy because I've had private lessons with her and stuff, and then the Songs Made Easy we kind of do this. So like in Happy Birthday and stuff, that she's actually doing this. When she did the rolls, then she's doing the pointer finger. So she knows like to use the pointer finger and stuff. But I think just to kind of extend her repertoire, just she's watching the Songs Made Easy when we do this for Songs Made Easy.
I think like just telling like everybody. I think
in general.
Even if you say like, oh, I want to like really get the thumb strum and do like claw hammers and that kind of strumming, or like Kimo Hussey's kind of strumming.
Wes Montgomery.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's fine, but I really think you get a better strum if you learn how to do that like twisting kind of strum with your pointer finger. And it just like regardless of whether you do either one, it makes both better. I think.
Yeah, because it also kind of raised like some flags for me, and then I forgot. I was like, oh, that's what she's doing. Because she went like, what was that?
Stand By Me,
or Stand stand by me. I'm
Yeah.
like, why is she doing this? And stuff. I'm like, oh, I said that.
Yeah.
I said to do that.
And the song's made
What am I
easy, yeah.
doing? No, but it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that song's made easy.
I think, but like even when you do like a thumb kind of strum, like
Yep.
a simple thumb strum,
Yeah.
it sounds like more natural when like you play it in a way that's kind of an in between of like
The thumb and the pointer.
yeah, and I think that makes it sound better. I don't know, like it kind of sounds when you're just focusing on just doing your thumb and you're using your arm, it sounds very like straight and robotic. And I think you can add like a little bit of a swing and more feeling if you kind of just like add that natural twist that you get. Yeah, and I think that's something that people who learn thumb strumming have a hard time with. Is like, oh, how do I like kind of do this like swingy kind of strum? You know, like we've talked to people who have trouble with like faiths, right? Strumming faith.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's just down up, down up, down up, and you're kind of just like, you know, pulling up harder or pushing down harder on certain strums. But it's on the basic, it's really easy. But I think it's just people aren't used to that twisting strum. So
I also have like a private student that I had that I was showing that kind of that strum to, and it's kind of cool because like that 3-finger accent is it's kind of lost on some people, like that this thing right here is like a substitute for just a down strum. It's not like the down then you do this and so, or it's not really a roll. It's just kind of using these 3 fingers to add an accent. So da 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 da, and it also looks like I'm doing like this thumb strum. Like that's what they thought. I was kind of using the thumb on the down as well, and kind of using this whenever I was doing the accents. But I'm actually doing the thumb on only the up. So he's like, oh well, do you take that kind of thumb and pointer finger and do this, do that? I'm like, no, it's kind of loose, so that like I have control over the thumb going up. So here it is slow. So I'm still doing this as kind of like to add rhythm. So this thumb only kind of really hits, but then I like to keep it close, so it looks like I'm doing that, but it's only hitting on the ups that I want to accent. So accented ups. So
it's like it's all based on the same like just basic strum, and I think that's the thing too, is that sometimes people see like you accidentally hitting the string with your thumb or your pointer finger, but you're not intentionally doing that.
No, I'm just kind of going with the flow. Like if it hits it, then it hits it,
Yeah, and because you're hitting in time, it doesn't sound wrong, right? And so you don't like bother to like stop or do anything.
Yeah.
For lessons, like I know that we've done solos, and I've been like, that's like just kind of an added ghost note without you intentionally trying to do it. It's just like your thumb accidentally got closer.
And it still like rolls off the same exact form. It all stems from this down up down up down up with the wrist and stuff. So the rolls, the chunks, and like and this kind of accented. Sorry, excuse me. Like the thumb with the up, and then the 3 fingers or 4 fingers on the down and stuff. That all stems from this movement of pointing to yourself and pointing down to the ground. That's why that's like the first thing that we teach people, is because once you get that form down, all the other like right hand strumming techniques is just gonna follow.
Yeah. I like last night I was showing my parents, like we're just talking about Hawaiian music, and I showed them Raiatea.
Yeah.
And I showed them the video where she's like going up, and Uncle Brian, right, is playing and he's going down. So it's like they're doing opposite strums, but because she's in time, it doesn't really matter. And that's like the same for everything. Is like the most important thing is like if you're in time or your rhythm, you're getting your rhythm. But strumming and all that other stuff, it's like not really. Like to a point, but not so much.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
So Ken asks, how do you keep your thumbnail from breaking? Mine breaks every time I try to practice flat picking.
I mean, I don't know what this. If I knew what the secret sauce is and stuff, like I would do it for the rest of my fingers. You know what I mean? Like it's just my thumb is the thickest nail that I have on on this hand. People say like eat Jello or take hair, skin, and nails or whatever. Like I mean I don't know. Like maybe it's just like snake oil or whatever. But like I was using here's the story once again. I was using my pointer finger. My pointer finger was my primary finger to pick and stuff. But then I don't know if you can see this. It's like kind of all jank. My pointer finger is jank there.
Gotta go the other way. There we go.
There. It's not. I don't know if you can see that. This side of it is kind of jank. You can't see it. Plus, I also told the story of how like this piece of my finger like came off because I was using the camera stand. Remember?
Oh.
So it's hard to see because this finger actually got cut. Like not that long. Anyway, no, it was this finger. It was this one.
I was also answering somebody else's question. I actually told them that your fingernails aren't actually super long. It's like your thumb is the main one, and then your other fingernails aren't like. They don't go exceptionally past your your finger. Right?
Yeah. No, these ones anyway. Maybe my pinky and stuff, because the pinky is what I lead with when I do the rolls. So I like to have the pinky finger a little bit longer than than usual. So. But then the thumb is long. So like the longer your thumb is, the easier, but also it's tough to kind of put it in position the longer it is. But if you're just kind of doing this kind of picking, it's pretty easy. One thing that I will say is to buff your nails. Like once you cut them with a nail cutter and stuff, go in with a nail file and file them and then buff them afterwards. Because when you cut your nails, there's gonna be the exposed. I don't know these terms and stuff, but like if you look at your nails, basically going like this, like all these straight lines going up, So when you cut it, that straight line gets kind of exposed. When you buff it, that straight line doesn't and it tends to crack at the straight lines too. Like that's where it cracks. So make sure you buff your nails like to
kind of round them
kind
off.
of round it out. Yeah, round it out basically. It's rough when you have it, and if you just cut your nails and go straight into it, that roughness is going to tear. So make sure you buff your nails.
Yeah. Like Jake doesn't even cut his nails, right?
Yeah, he just buffs it. He doesn't use nail cutters.
He just like every day he just kind of maintenance.
Like he knows where the perfect length is, and he just okay, just that much. Yeah, it's all good, you know. So yeah, don't just cut your nails. I was gonna say don't cut your nails. Like no, don't just cut your nails. Like, cut, file, and buff. Get one of those the multi-surface ones and stuff, because the multi-surface ones has you can shorten it with one surface, you can buff it with one surface, you can shine it one purpose. Is really cool.
It's just it's rougher right on different edges
instead of just like the regular nail file and stuff. Those fancy ones with like the and it's not expensive and stuff. It's maybe $1, $2 like more than the regular kind. So it's not. I mean. Small price to pay for like good nail care. But I don't know, I might be Asian, but I don't know too much about taking care of nails too much other than that. All right, next question.
Ritesh asks, how do I expand to Jazzy Chords? I can play the usual chord shapes up and down the neck. How do I build an internal compass for chord shapes beyond the standard chords in a scale?
Try to figure out different voicings and stuff, and that's kind of what creates those jazz shapes. A lot of people think it's like, it's this, I have to kind of learn this for my what would that be, like F major 7, or instead of playing F major 7 like this, but I want to play this, I want to play it like that. But this you'll learn that it's F major 7, but it's basically just your C with that pinky finger on there. So things like this, or it's like A minor 7, it's basically just your B minor chord, okay, our B minor 7 chord, and then I used to kind of take this and have an E on there, and then just having your pointer finger down there, it's all good. And then like just with the diminished chord, it looks like a fancy schmancy jazzy looking chord, but it's just like your G7. Honestly, it's just a G7 chord with just this pointer finger up there. So just get proficient at your at your main chords, and then add like stuff to it. So for example, you have your G chord shape. You have this G chord shape. You might want to like move it one fret, just kind of experiment with that. And now you have an augmented, so C and then C augmented chord just by that. And then if you're looking at this, you're like, there must be a better way to hold that. So maybe holding it like this. And then there you have like a totally new chord, chord shape. So it's about just kind of experimenting with what you have now. A lot of times people take the route of like going and get a book and then like, okay, well this is whatever chord. So you learn the shapes by playing, which is a good thing. So do that and also experiment with the shapes that you have now. So the easy way to do it is if you take a chord, then you know the scales, right? So this is a G chord and this is a G scale. Right? So just kind of taking that and then adding one to it. So for example, this is G, and I want to add my pinky finger there. This looks like a fancy schmancy chord, but it's basically just a G with an added 9. So this is the 8, because that's a second note of my G scale. I just want to add that in there. And then when you're like, okay, well, why don't I just play that up here instead? So I have fancy schmancy chord looking, but it's basically just your G with that up there, Or maybe this. Now you're getting fancy with the sus4, but it's basically just your G with that sus4. So when I was learning jazz, not too long ago, I just kind of got proficient with the chords I already knew now. So I knew that like this would be an A minor, right? And then learning that this was an A minor 7, it's basically the same thing, except this is now here, and it needs the A, which is the top string 2nd fret. So C with the A makes that minor 7. So now knowing that, I can get the B minor 7. So I used to play, Wonderful Tonight, like, it's late in the evening, she's wondering what clothes to wear. Now if I want to jazz that up, I have a G major 7 instead of just G, because it's the same thing as G, but I'm adding this note there. So G major 7, it's late in the evening. For that B minor, she's wondering what clothes to wear, which is that D7. If I want to get even more fancy, go G major 7, puts on her makeup and brushes her long brown hair. What that is? Remember that chord over here that I taught you right there? Which is that. And how did I get that? You're like, why would you play that note right there? Because this, kind of like my A7 chord, remember I said existing chords that you already know? So A7, B flat 7, B7, C7, C sharp 7, D7. What was that last chord here? D7, so this must be D7. Now I'm gonna extend this to that note because that's part of my scale, of that D scale, because I have so I can add that note and then resolve down to the D7 and then back to G. So now I have it's late in the evening, she's wondering what clothes to wear. So now if I want to go even more fancy, I know this is my A minor here, that must be this is my B minor, same chord shape. So I already know my existing chord shape. So it's late in the evening, she's wondering what clothes to wear. Very, very fancy looking chord, but if we took off this pointer finger, it's just that G7 chord shape all the way up here, creating a D7 which is what we needed here, which is what we did here, but now we're doing it up here. Now if we want to make it fancy, just like how we hit that G, then to the F sharp here, we can get this G, and then F sharp. Oh, so it's a little bit advanced and stuff, but make sure that you're familiar with all the chords that you know now, and not just knowing how to play it, but knowing what note makes those what 3 notes make that one chord, and what notes you can add to those 3 notes. So that would be like G with the sus4, because 1, 2, 3, 4. So getting proficient with the scales, proficient with the chords you already know, is the first step to kind of getting the jazz.
I think,
and with jazz too, like so basically you're just holding a chord that you know, and then adding or kind of taking away so that it lands on a note that's from that scale. But really with jazz, like you could add any note. So play a chord, add like any note to it, and see if it sounds good, and then if you like it, then try it out in a song. And if not, then don't.
I think, well, I think what you're doing is like a pretty advanced like version of doing chord substitutions and that kind of thing. But you can start off with just like saying like, I'm gonna take my favorite song and I'm gonna change all the chords, regardless of whether they're major or minor, to major 7s and minor 7s. And then
just start with that.
And then the next step up from there is like going to like 4th and 6th. 8s and 9s, and then you can do diminished, augmented, you know, and it really is like Aaron said. You just like add like a finger, or you change the position a little bit, and you kind of you'll either find like a related chord, like it might be you know,
or a nice sounding substitution to that chord.
Or like, and if it kind of changes the chord, like changes how it sounds altogether. It also, if you're just changing like 1 or 2 notes, it'll probably be a related like minor chord or some kind of, it'll be related to the original chord.
And there's always like a way to get back to the original chord from that. Like you'll see a lot of guys do like chords like this, you know, like, oh, it's like that fancy chord, but it's like, okay, well, where does that chord come from? So if this is like an F7 add 9. So it's like a super duper fancy, but if we were to break that down, here's F7. So here's F, the 9 would be here, right? So that's already our F7 add 9. We're adding this D because it's just part of our note there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we would have that F7 add 9 with the 6 in there. Oh snap! What? Or you can look at it as 1, 2, 3. Well, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you can do like a F7 add 9 with the 13. Oh, what? Fancy schmancy name. But all it is really is someone's like, oh, this F7 sounds good, but you know what? This F7 add 9 sounds pretty good, and my pinky's not doing anything, so why don't I just add this note, which is also part of the scale.
Like Ritesh is also he's participating in our like songwriting challenge kind of stuff. We get like submissions from him, and that's like also a way that I like learn these kinds of things, or I feel like I remember these things better is like through actual application of like when I'm writing songs. I look at like, okay, this is a okay chord pattern, but I do want to like change these chords or make it more interesting. So how do I do that? And there's a bunch of videos online, but you can do the basic of just like minor 7s and then building on that, you know, and you just
experiment. Like really is what it is. Experiment with stuff. Adding and taking off notes.
Chords are always about like stacking. So you're trying to just stack notes on it. And then at a certain point, it's going to change how the chord sounds altogether. But it's like not a bad thing to find that limit of like, oh, this chord is way different. Like, I don't want to use it. It's pretty good practice to do that, you know, to find like where it'll be like a totally different chord, you know.
Yeah, because the chords came first and then the naming system came second. So like you could play around for a long time not even knowing what you're playing, and then learning the music theory as you go to like figure out what you were actually playing, because even like that happened with you, right? Like you were playing things what
I didn't know how to explain it. I mean
I think it was like Noho Pai Pai or something.
Oh yeah,
like something that we've been playing forever.
Like
and
this didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. What chord is that? I don't know. You just put your fingers there, and it sounds good.
Yeah.
So like
D7.
And it was only recently that you attained enough knowledge about music theory to even categorize what you're doing. But you were playing it for years, and like the same thing.
It just sounded good.
Yeah, it sounded good.
It sounds good.
So like even for the last songwriting challenge, I don't even know what I was playing. Like because and like it sounded good to me. Yeah. But I wouldn't even like I don't have the capability to even name the chords that I was playing. But like I played stuff. And then I added things, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds good." In fact, like I looked up a chord, and then and I was playing it, and then I didn't like look back at the chord chart.
Yeah.
Like I want this chord, so I like looked it up how to play it, and I looked up variations on how to play it, and I was like, "Oh, that one looks cool," so I played it. Oh, it sounds good, and then as I was writing, I forgot how to play it, so I had like a similar shape, but it wasn't the chord, and I kept it.
But it works because it works.
But it works.
Yeah, it works.
And so I don't even know what that chord is, but I like it. So so it stayed in the song, We're
just gonna keep it.
Yeah.
I know there's like a video of Adam Neely reharmonizing "Thank You Next."
Yeah.
And he says like one of the chords, like he's like, "Oh, I can use all this music theory, like it leads back to the 1, and then the 7th resolves back to the 5, or like all these different things." But he said like at the end of the day, or like the reason why I really chose that chord and I found that chord in the first place, it just sounded good. Yeah, it sounded good right there. And So that's always like the main reason why people play the chords that they play.
I wrote that song Cecilia on my first album, and it's just basically this. Like, because I like that and it sounded good. Yeah. I don't know what those chords are, especially at that time in 2007.
You wouldn't have been able to say.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
but play around. That's what's fun about music is that you can do anything. Yeah.
I was like, wow, sounds good though.
Sounds good. I
want to do that.
Yeah. And sometimes that emotional connection is stronger than the word or the exact name of the chord. Right. You can just say like, "Oh, this is this chord for Waiting in Vain" or whatever. And
I mean, like Jimi Hendrix did it all the time. He's like making chords up. It's like, there is such thing as a Hendrix chord, or just because he thought it sounded good.
Yeah, and nobody really can explain why it sounds good because it shouldn't. But yeah.
All right. So, do we have any more fast questions that we can answer before we move over? I was gonna say that's a good segue to our. To our songs and stuff, but
we have a couple more.
Okay.
And,
Rapid fire.
Yeah. Okay. Can you explain how to do the tremolo with your thumb?
Just your regular.
Just a regular thumb and stuff.
Just a regular.
It's really just wiggling your.
Your regular anchored.
My regular anchored one. Yeah. Okay. Make a peace sign. Thumb goes on the ring
wait.
Oh, sorry.
I zoomed in too early.
Okay. Make a peace sign. Thumb goes on the ring finger. Middle finger goes forward like so. And then you're going to twist your wrist like this. And then that middle finger gets anchored. Here it is from this angle. What my thumb now looks like with it resting on the ring finger. Then you just kind of use your middle finger as an anchor. Just pulse your wrist. Really is all it is. I know not everyone has that hitchhiker's thumb. I know it's straight for some people. But it still works. That's me straightening up my thumb. Yeah. People probably say like, it's because he has hitchhiker's thumb. So I'm like, well, yes, because this is the angle that I get it, But if it's straight, you can still do it. You just have to kind of like get your wrist out a little bit more, so you get that angle. But
going back to the strumming thing we talked about, it's like the same motion as strumming. So you're just kind of limiting your strum instead of it being this big. You're just kind of limiting it right here. So I'm almost doing it already. I'm just like have my thumb on my middle finger to just kind of keep it stable. So now
and then the anchor just keeps it right in place.
So it's just kind of pulsing a little bit because all you're doing is the same movement. So like I said, everything stems from this. Point to yourself, point down to the ground. Once you master that,
Yeah,
all of these techniques just stem off of that same concept.
It really is. It just, if you take that big strum and you just make it smaller, smaller
tiny.
until it's like you're just hitting one string.
Yeah. So. Cool. Next, fire.
Can you explain reading a 6/8 measure or a 6/8 time?
Really. So the top number, so 6 and then over 8, right? The top number is how many counts in that measure. So that's even before that. The whole thing explains what a measure is. Okay, so the top number measures how many beats, in that or how many counts in that measure. The bottom number is how long each beat gets. Yeah. So the common time is 4/4. Okay, so 4/4 means like each each measure is gonna get 4 beats. And each beat is, is going to be equal.
Quarter note
gets 1 beat.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you double that number, so now the bottom is 8 instead, that means that value is going to be doubled. Okay? So if it was 4/8, for example, each one is still going to get, 4 beats, but each one of those is going to get extended twice now. So each quarter note is now going to get a half, it's going to get 2 beats. So I'm just going to say half note. Each quarter note is now basically a half note, But quarter note is going to get 2 beats because it's, instead of 4, it's now 8. So now you have 6/8. So you have 6 counts, but each one of them, I was saying eighth note. I was like, the note with the flag on it. I haven't read music in so long. Each 8th note gets 1 beat. That's basically what it is.
Basically, just worry about the top number.
Yeah, the top number.
Because that's what you're counting when you're actually playing it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty similar to 3/4. Like if you hear a 3/4 song, like 1 2 3 1 2 3, it's just kind of like you might hear phrases or chords that last for 6 instead of 3.
Yes.
So that's where they might put it in 6/8. I just had to do something with this. So.
Yeah, but that's basically it, just to kind of explain to you like the top number means and then what the bottom number means. Yeah. So 4 in the bottom, which is the common time, it means that each quarter note gets 1 beat. Now each 8th note gets 1 beat in 8s. Does that make sense? Okay.
Something like that.
So
you just counted 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5
6 because it still has to be equal.
Yeah, and that bottom the bottom number really it's for reading music. If you're reading music, that has a bigger significance. But if you're just using it as like
you just to worry about the top number,
a chord chart or like something really simple music written
you just know that like
you don't really have to.
It's like six notes to a measure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next. That's all. We got through though. So.
Yeah. Oh, right on. Okay, so today our songs are due. And what it is on Thursday Live Lessons, we do a songwriting challenge. And this week's challenge and this week's song that you're supposed to write has to be in the key of G. And it has to have A minor and or E minor. That's basically it. If you wrote a song within these parameters, that's a song that would be included in this challenge. Bonus is if you write lyrics to it. Hawaiian, I know it has an asterisk. I forgot why it has an asterisk. Hawaiian sounding. It can be a song in Hawaiian language or Hawaiian sounding.
The asterisk it's supposed to be an asterisk in Hawaiian and Thanksgiving. And we said that if somebody wrote a Hawaiian Thanksgiving song, we would immediately tell them that they won.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, good. So we have inversions. We have a boxer reference, which was unclear back, when we did this challenge. So you can interpret it however you want to. A boxer dog, boxer, or I don't know, the guy who makes boxes or who boxes things. However you want to do that. And also Thanksgiving. Okay, so these are the bonuses, but all you have to do...
It came from, because Devin said something about
boxer. That's right, boxer or boxers. Yeah. That's another thing too. So you can interpret it however you want to, but these are the bonuses. 3 weeks later, we have to do ours, which is today. So we're going to show you what we came up with, so that you guys have ideas of what you can do with these parameters. And you guys' songs are due... 2 weeks from now, I guess, right? Because we don't have Thursday Live Lesson next week because it's Thanksgiving. But the week afterwards, yours is due. And all the people who sent in one, will get put in a raffle, and we'll give a prize to, And so it's not like I wrote the best song, I should get the whatever prize. It's put in the, it's just a nice exercise that we like to have people do.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I didn't know this was due.
I think all of us were having.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I didn't know that our songs were due today, and I found out from Kahai that it was due back on Tuesday. And I still didn't do it until this morning. So here is I usually go first. So here is my song. I made an instrumental because I didn't have any time to write lyrics. So here's a G instrumental in G, a Hawaiian instrumental in G. So So to sing my song, like I said, I wrote it this morning, actually 2 hours before I came into the office. So I got the G, I got some inversions up here. I'm kind of doing some inversions of the G, of the C, and then D and stuff. And I've got this nice little. And then when it came to the minor, because I need A minor and E minor, I did la la la, la 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 la.
Yeah, I was like, how are you gonna add that in? Because that's not like
six is
so
for a Hawaiian song.
So that is Simon and Garfunkel's "The Boxer."
Yeah.
So I did that. It's Hawaiian. I got the inversions and I got a boxer in there, and I'm calling this Hawaiian Turkey. Oh, so I got
because there already is a song, the Hawaiian Boxer.
Yes, the Hawaiian Boxer. It's not that song. So I was in the key of G. I had the A minor in there. I had the E minor. I didn't have lyrics, but it was Hawaiian. It has inversions. It has a boxer reference, and it was Thanksgiving. Bam.
Yep.
Nice.
That's what I did in 1 hour. Go,
I was actually thinking about that too. The song, The Boxer.
The Boxer, yeah. Okay, so Aaron, would you do yours?
Sure.
Yeah. Or Kahai, do you want to go?
Either way.
Yeah. Because Aaron usually goes, and Kahai's last.
Other way.
Was it?
Other way.
Oh, really? Is it Kahai usually?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter though.
Okay. Who wants to go first? You want to go first?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So.
Okay. All right. So maybe John can Poe.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, Kahai. Yeah. There's no substance to it.
Yeah,
that's basically all it was.
We were talking about earlier, and both of us were like down to the wire too.
Oh, yeah. Mine was seriously at like, I realized it about 10:30.
Yeah.
And I leave my house at about like 12 something, and I was with my daughter, so I'm like, I just put Frozen on. I was like, we're not going to the library because we usually go to the library for the story time at Lihui Library. And I'm like, oh nope, I guess it's Elsa's gonna be your babysitter today. And yeah, that's like my secret weapon. I just
Great
put on some
parenting
Frozen
there
and
for
all
that.
good.
My sister, her baby is too young to like let him just sit with the screen, unfortunately. So gotta always keep watching.
Yeah, and that was kind of my inspiration. It's like the faster I get this done, the faster I can turn the TV off. So I'm like 30 minutes.
You don't want to hear about snowman anymore?
No.
Okay, yeah, I'll play my song.
Nice. Tell us about your song.
R&B kind of slow jam.
It reminded me of like, those movies in like the early 2000s where it's like the dance battle movies, like Save the Last Dance, like that, like in the beginning, they're like doing this like rap, not rap, but like this dance battle, like about to do that stuff. Snap, man.
I got that at the end, like when I was rendering it out. I was like, I made a movie for like a song for a dance.
Yeah, Step It Up, or I forgot what that movie's called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, to the streets.
Take it to the streets.
So tell us about your tune, man.
And the intro credits kind of come in.
Yeah, exactly. And then unlikely girl probably does ballet or something, that goes to a school that like is popular with like pop and lock and stuff. Like, oh, get out of here with your ballet.
I'm gonna fuse them.
On to something here.
I will get respect.
I wanted to do a similar, and I've said it many times before. I wanted to do a similar story, but with bond dancing, like somebody who knows that bond dancing, obon and stuff.
Isn't that? You're just talking about Karate Kid 2.
Oh, to do that, like the last bond dance is what I want to call it. Like somebody like
save the last bond dance.
Save the last bond dance. Because it's like this girl or whatever wanted to do bond dance, but she couldn't quite do it, and then she gets taught by like the last person who knows like the real way of bond dancing.
That it has to be like a Japanese farmer too, right? Because bond dance is all about like they do the motions for farming.
Yeah, exactly. And like back then in Japan, this this person who knows like the real way was like the legit, like she was on the rise, but right before she got like Nancy Kerrigan, she just couldn't do it anymore and stuff. And then now she's trying to teach this girl like old Miyagi style and stuff, like pick up this flower or whatever, or exactly that, like like do this motion with the thing. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've been trying to write the screenplay for a long time.
We're gonna go to what is it, like the fish packing plant? You're gonna dodge the stuff.
Yeah. So your chords, man.
What chords did I use? So it's like E minor, A minor, D, alright, or E minor, D, A, D, B7. And that's like one of those things that I was talking about where it's like I wanted to add a substitution there, and that's how it's like, oh, okay, like I can do tritone substitutions, or I can do this seventh substitution instead. So that's how you kind of learn about stuff like that. Yeah, and then like there's like a break in the middle, or like a chorus in the middle that's just G minor 7 or G major 7, C major 7, and I think it's a B minor or A minor. I forget which, but it's pretty simple. I think like I didn't intend to make it like that kind of dance movie song.
Yeah.
But like what happened was I wrote a lot of it last night, or I had a good portion of the chords and everything, and I couldn't figure out a melody. The melody was like killing me.
Yeah.
So
it's a sick melody. Like it came out pretty sick.
Thanks. I went to sleep, and that's my trick for most of the times when I get stuck with songwriting.
Sleep on it.
Yeah, take naps. Take a lot of naps. I take a lot of naps. So I went to sleep, and like I was telling Aaron too, I was like kind of stressing because I was like, it's pretty late, and I don't know if I can wake up early enough to finish the song. Yeah. And I don't know if sleeping will really help me, but I was like, I just gotta try it because that's the only thing I could think of. Like the melodies that I was writing was getting worse and worse. So I went to sleep. I woke up this morning, and I had that melody in my head, and I was like playing it on piano, but it didn't sound good. And then I put it on the strings, and I think the strings is what like really makes it sound like that. Dance. Right? Because it's like classical music mixed with hip hop.
That's basically. I guess
that's where it comes from.
Yeah. So like I only noticed it right when I was rendering. I was like, yeah, this sounds like it would be in a dance movie. It's like, okay.
Well, right on. Hey, good job, bud. Okay, Eric.
Okay. So I had
I don't want to look.
I don't look. So I had like a kind of like an intro riff in here that didn't end up making the song, but the intro riff kind of made me think about like being like a little kid, and just kind of using your imagination to like build worlds, you know.
Ooh.
So that's what the song is about.
Okay.
And then let's see.
Is it Lego House?
Yeah, it's Lego House by Ed Sheeran.
My favorite is 8.
Yeah, so the riff was like, yeah. So it was kind of like nostalgic,
up,
kind of a nostalgic, but then it ended up being pop punk. So
okay.
Is that right?
The weekends and my friends begin to form a plan. Corrugated illusions dance out of delivery vans. All we need is just one fridge that we could all fit in.
ready for takeoff. All systems go. We are the boxers living on cardboard. We are the boxers. We're out there delivering the world from evil villains, one-eyed scorpions and 10-tiny squids. We are the boxers living our cardboard dreams. Cardboard dreams.
Yay! I like the use of delivery.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's like that. I can see that being like an Aquabat song.
Yeah.
You just take.
So it was kind of like
Yeah.
like
Sick.
Weezer, kind of
Yeah.
Weezer influence, kind of some like Real Big Fish kind of
Yeah, you
influence,
can see that.
and Aquabats definitely.
I think you could even use like that picking part, like how pop punk songs like start it off as like a slow ballad, acoustic ballad, right?
Yeah,
And then
And
bring
go
it
straight
in.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, like the best of me from the starting line. Like,
yeah,
something like
kind of that pop punk. And then I kind of wanted like a solo instrumental break kind of after that the spoken part, but then I couldn't really think of anything, and I wouldn't be able to play it and
Inversions.
play it at the same time. But in my head, that's kind of how it would go.
Cool.
you could, or like I can hear where it's just like they're repeating the chords, right? And then another guitar player is playing like parallel octaves.
Yeah.
And that's pop punk.
Yeah, that's
soloing.
kind of what it sounds like in my head, where it's like that parallel octaves.
Cool. Is there any like double, triple, quadruple counters in there?
No. I just was like, I was thinking like I wanted to do something a little off the wall for like the term boxers.
boxer.
So it was kind of like using cardboard boxes to make spaceships, and like, you know, when you're a kid, you like build stuff out of cardboard.
Yeah.
So like using the term boxer in a totally different way.
Yeah. You're one that boxes.
It's somebody that uses
Box.
boxes.
Yeah.
Nice. I just sent a video to Aaron,
Mm.
and it's like it's a lady remaking a Lizzo song into like a Mumford and Son song, and the person she gets to sing for it, she's like, I really don't want to do the chorus. Hey. That you hear all the Mumford and Sons, but I know I gotta do it for the genre.
Yeah.
And I feel like having a song where you go like we are,
Yeah.
that's like very pop punk, right? And that's where you get the whole band to do like the chorus.
Yeah.
I could totally hear the full arrangement.
You
of
can
the
have your
song,
ukulele down here.
It was it was one of those that I kind of wanted like like that feeling of like getting together with your friends and like, oh, we're all in
What
this
are we gonna
together.
do? What are we gonna do today?
We're gonna fight bad guys. So
right on, man. Hey, so if you guys want to participate in our songwriting challenge, these are the parameters. Once again, key of G, A minor, and or E minor. That's really all you need. You can have lyrics, kind of like what Aaron did. You can have it sound Hawaiian, kind of like how I did, with some inversions, kind of like how all of us did. Boxer reference, kind of like how all of us did. Did you have a boxer reference in yours, Kahai?
No.
Let's just say save the last boxer.
Okay, yeah. That was my plan all along.
it's a movie about boxing.
So he has to learn to dance in order to be a good boxer.
But he adds
there it is.
boxing moves into there.
Oh, man. I have we actually made a post for our next song challenge, because I made a post asking people for suggestions so we can do like a secret Santa.
Yeah, all cool.
And we're gonna take one of their suggestions. Each of us is gonna take, and then we're gonna try and write a song for them.
Nice.
But I was just thinking for the next one where we do, we make a list of song traits for everybody. We should put in bone dance. Make a bone dance song. Yeah. So maybe somebody can make a bone dance song for your movie.
Oh yeah, there you go. I'm accepting music for my screenplay. Right on, guys. Hey, and Thanksgiving. So if you guys want to take on this, just write a song and submit it over on the UU Plus forum. We have a thread special just for those submissions. So make sure you check that out. It is called, what is it called, Kahai?
It's the mega thread. Yeah.
Mega thread. Mega
songwriting challenge mega thread. Yeah.
So I'll turn it in. It's due the week after Thanksgiving, just whenever, like before Thursday, basically. Before next Thursday, not this coming Thursday, but next Thursday. So as long as you turn it in before next Thursday, it should be all good. We'll put you into the raffle, and we'll raffle it off. Once again, if you guys do a Hawaiian song in Hawaiian, you just automatically get something. Okay. So if you write a Hawaiian song,
Hawaiian turkey song,
Hawaiian turkeys, yeah, Hawaiian Thanksgiving song,
yeah,
in Hawaiian.
Because we actually Kahai wrote a Hawaiian song.
Ooh,
he wrote a song and then he added Hawaiian lyrics over it.
Wow,
oh,
yeah. Like full on, yeah.
That's what we that's what we want to see. We want to see that's a full effort, right? Not unlike,
yeah, not from our quota of C's get degrees.
Yeah, C's get degrees, baby. Yeah, that's what we say here on the show. That's what we believe. Unless you want to reach for the stars like Aaron Nakamura did with his fancy schmancy degree. C's get degrees around here.
What is the saying? Like, do as we say, don't do as we do. Or like,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Kahai. Yep. Yeah. So with that said, we'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. If you guys want to email us questions, if you guys want your questions answered in this show, put it right here. There it is. Bam. Well, saw that. I read you. I read you.
We're showing the email questions at ukuleleunderground.com because I know some people have problems posting videos to the forum. It's just like they can't get it.
You can always email us your videos and stuff too.
And we'll totally count it.
Yeah, so that's it. If you guys want to, thanks so much for listening. For all of you podcast listeners out there, I know a lot of it is super visual, but hey, that's why I signed for UU Plus. So you can watch all this visual stuff going on. I mean, like, you don't even know it. Kahai's got like a new hairstyle today. You wouldn't know that, unless you.
Most people wouldn't know that.
Yeah, I guess so. So how would you know what his? Aaron's got a cool shirt on. Whoa! What is? Tell him about the shirt, Aaron. What's up with that, man? Oh. There's all kinds of stuff going on in today's. Yeah, so sign up for UU Plus right now so you can watch what's going on in this room. So we'll see you folks next time. Have a great one. See you tomorrow for Aloha Friday Live Jam. Stick around for the one-on-one coaching. See you next time. Aloha.